Line of duty deaths happen. You don't expect them to happen, but when it does happen, it's a life-changing event for multiple people. I'm Colby Barnett. I've been a police officer for 15 years. Been a rough, last 2 years has been extremely rough. We've lost 3 guys in the line of duty. 2 of them are on the wall in Washington, D.C., and the other one is probably going on this year. If you lose your best friend, then mine and Danny's supervisor, Richard Parker, was a captain and dies of a heart attack right after he got off duty. That was a little over a year. It was 14 months after Danny died. Nobody expected him to die because he was such in good shape. He was the GOAT. I mean, he was stout as 6'5", 6'6", 225, and ripped. And you wouldn't think he was gonna die, but when he died, and then my little buddy, Joseph Barlow, who was my recruit, who I recruited to come do this job, and I knew his whole family. But whenever, then he gets hit by that guy coming across the center median because he wasn't paying attention while driving, that sucked and hit hard. That's a situation that nobody's ever been put in for the most part. I was having a hard time with it. It was just, I can't believe he's gone at a young age. He wasn't even, I think, 25 years old, 24 years old. Everything that has transpired from, life events in law enforcement and having, working baby deaths to car accidents to, one of your partners, Joseph, had just gotten a, officer-involved shooting. So there's all kinds of events that take place, and, a person can only take so much. I'd been asked to go speak with Warriors Rest. Like, well, they're the ones who were at the hospital. And they came to the funeral. I mean, there's 5,000 people at this funeral. I mean, it is absolutely packed, and there's officers from all over the country. I was sitting with my wife outside, and, it really hit that I'm not all right. It was pretty rough. It took a lot to admit that, I was struggling with, you name it, it was probably going through my head. So I went and visited with Dr. Kathy Thomas, who I call the GOAT counselor. And so I would go visit with her several times, and I realized that, I'm sleeping better now, finally. I was sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, period, for months on end. My marriage was starting to take a hit. Myself was taking a hit. Warriors Rest saved my life. I continued to go to see Kathy, and she worked her magic that I can actually tell you the story right now without fully breaking down. I go after visiting with Kathy for a few months. I was doing pretty good, and she asked me to go speak at. She said, "Would you be interested in speaking at one of the events?" And I didn't know if I was gonna be able to pull that off. It was, everything was still pretty, not real fresh, but I haven't been still. I was sleeping better, but I wasn't where I want to be at. But my heart was telling me to go do it, and I went and spoke actually in Edmond at the college. So approximately 500 other officers from around the state. And after speaking at the event, I was good for about 48 hours. And I had an absolute just, like I hit a wall. It had brought back so much tragedy. I mean, it brought everything back. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm in a absolute I'm in a dark place. And I called Kathy and I said, I've got to come see you like ASAP. What's amazing about Warriors Rest and everybody who was there, like they all said I did an outstanding job. They wanted me to get help if I needed it. Hey, you're gonna have this is probably gonna, they warned me that, you're probably gonna have in the next, it could be 24 hours, could be 2 weeks, but you're probably gonna have, they warned me. And I thought I'd be, I'd just be a tough guy and be all right. But, it hit, and it hit hard. And Kathy, and at that time I had got to finally meet Brett in person and John, and we went to dinner and talked everything about it, and I was like, I'm gonna be all right. And these people like have my back 1,000,000%. And it's just blown up into officers all over are like, dude, what are you doing again? Like, what's this place called? And so now I also fish on the side, and Warriors Rest is one of my sponsors. I realized that it opened up a door for Warriors Rest. So when I asked Brett and Tara about it, they're like, man, that's a pretty good idea. This year has been last 2 years has been absolutely rough, but it's opened up more opportunities, more doors that I didn't think was possible. Being able to tie in law enforcement, fishing, has just, my two favorite things has just blown up into a great deal. I actually have a trip coming up that, I can't give out much information, but he's involved in an officer-involved shooting right now, or he was. He's on leave right now. We're gonna talk. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. If you want to talk, I'm here, and it's because of Warriors Rest. It's opened up doors. It's helping other officers. And if I can help out a guy from, not wanting to kill himself, to not wanting him to go drink himself to death, or, not just death in general, but if you can just help out another officer and realize that, hey, you got other guys that are here for you, that's huge. And whenever that happened to us, we didn't really have support from anybody besides Warriors Rest. And Warriors Rest stepped up so big that it was like, now it's my turn. I have to step up and help these people. If somebody needs help, hey, I'm here. Like, what's wrong with letting some emotions go out in front of God's creation on the water? I mean, with another guy who understands it. And if you can help somebody out, man, that's just what you need to do. And that's just what Warriors Rest does, and that's what I do. It's really put a smile on my face, being able to help other people in a way that I didn't know was going to be this big. To realize the Warriors Rest Foundation is probably the #1 nonprofit organization I would give any dollar to, and they're here to help everybody. The Warriors Rest Foundation, from a whole group of everybody, from the founders to everybody involved in it, everybody has the right mentality, everybody has the right path that they want to go down with it, and everybody has each other's back.